This is a CannaBiz update brought to you by Tonkin Torp. I'm Danica Hipsman, one of the cannabis attorneys here at Tonkin, and with me today is Jessica Morgan, one of the partners with Tonkin, and who specializes in corporate and securities law and also represents a lot of cannabis industry clients. The contents of what we're going to talk about today are accurate and up to date as of the date of this recording, which is November 17th, 2021.
So one of the big topics that I think everyone wants to hear about is the recent news from the OLCC when they reinstated taking new applications for recreational retail, processor, and wholesale. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, early last week, OLCC made a rather surprising announcement to do just that. OLCC has not been processing new applications for those license types since 2018 and had not really given much indication that they were on the verge of resuming processing applications. So it has taken some people by surprise, but it does appear now that applicants can put in their own applications for a retail, wholesale, and processor without having to purchase an existing license.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's a big change.
Yeah, so why is this surprising?
It's mostly surprising just because OLCC had not given an indication this was coming. It's actually been a little contrary to some of the public statements they've been making recently that particularly for producers, they're going to be recommending that the moratorium on that extend for another 2 years at this upcoming legislative session. But for other license types, OLCC had indicated that they might wait until after the legislative session to make any sort of changes and give the legislature some time to weigh in on that and whether there should be a cap or not. So the sudden announcement was not necessarily anticipated, and it's definitely put some industry folks that were in the midst of transactions or on the verge of it in kind of some uncertain territory.
So what is the difference between the pause and the moratorium for producers, and what should we expect and how to handle that?
Yeah, this is an area that's been a little bit confusing to folks because the terms the pause and the moratorium have been somewhat used interchangeably, but they really are two different things. Back in 2018, OLCC put a blanket pause on processing of any licenses, producers, processors, retailers, and wholesalers. Then in 2019, the Oregon legislature adopted a statute that put an official moratorium in place for producers. Basically, there would be no new producer applications for at least 2 years. That statute is set to sunset this coming January, and so it's a possibility that there might be more producers, but that's a little uncertain. The pause on other license types has been only by agency policy, so the OLCC has had some discretion in resuming that at any time.
Yeah. What should producers do in anticipating the lifting of the moratorium?
I think it's a little too soon to know, and given that OLCC has officially stated that they will be recommending extending the moratorium for another 2 years, and there's really a lot of support for that concept in the industry. There is a concern over oversupply, and federal legalization is not yet here, and so making sure that the market stays stable is important to people. So it's really a little too soon to know whether there will be possibilities for getting new producers applications anytime soon. There will be a gap in time from the time the statute sunsets and to when the legislative session starts in February. So it is possible that there might be a small window of time in which applications can be submitted, but OLCC has not really said what they're going to do with those applications yet.
And with the OLCC, we know even what they say, it may not be what actually happens.
Yes, this may be one of those examples where a turn in their way that their policies and thought process on new applications may change.
So we're hearing a lot about CBN. What can you tell us about the changes that are going to be coming there?
Yeah, this is another real hot topic. As many people know, in the last legislative session, OLCC was given a lot of authority to regulate hemp and artificially derived cannabinoids, and has been going through a lot of rulemaking in that sense. CBN is a naturally occurring cannabinoid in the cannabis plant, but it doesn't necessarily naturally occur at the levels to which it is included in products. And so OLCC has somewhat classified that as an artificially derived cannabinoid, and was initially looking to ban it. It has become a cannabinoid that's been very popular, however, in many products, both in the OLCC system and outside of it. And so it caused a lot of angst for a lot of industry participants that manufacture products with CBN in it. The OLCC is in the middle of that rulemaking right now and did just release their public draft of rules for comment. And it does appear that they're going to leave open an avenue for CBN products to be sold in OLCC stores. So that is looking, at least the direction the agency is taking, that it will be allowed, but only in the limited fashion up to those 21 and over, with packaging and labeling requirements and testing standards.
Okay, well, there you have it.
Yeah.
That is a good summary of what's been going on, and I really appreciate your inside scoop.
Yeah, it's great to talk with you, Jessica.
Yeah, you too.
Till next time.
Till next time.